Could I have your attention, please? We're going to continue with our entertainment, something that perhaps you may find entertaining, a skit that we've been working on feverishly for the last 2 hours. And of course, since we're here talking about the future marriage of Jessica and Nathaniel, I thought it'd be nice to reflect on marriage, about what marriage means, what examples we have of marriage, and what we learn from those examples. So we have a little skit entitled, "The History of Marriage and What We Have Learned So Far." Of course, it all started with Adam. Before he was married, Adam was perfect. He had the place all to himself. He never had a problem picking out his clothes. He never even had to pick up after himself because he had monkeys to do that. But Adam realized he was missing something, and Jehovah knew it too. Jehovah saw that Adam needed a wife. So God had Adam go to sleep. While he was sleeping, God took one of his ribs. And God made that rib into a beautiful woman, Eve. Eve was a wife for Adam. This, of course, made Adam very happy. Yet, as we know, their happiness was cut short when Adam made a terrible decision. After that, things got harder, and life for Adam and Eve was never the same. So what is the lessons we learned? Well, we learn to enjoy the good times in marriage while they last. And when faced with big decisions, remember to always follow the guidance from God. Also, husbands, if your wife insists you be on an all-fruit diet, consult your physician first. Well, later in history, we see the example of Abraham. Abraham Epps. Abraham and Sarah served Jehovah joyfully for many years, even without having children. They may have wanted children, but they waited before starting a family. They did not let this affect their relationship with each other. Abraham continued to love his wife, and he even let Sarah call him Lord from time to time. While living in a fine home in the city, Jehovah asked them to move where the need was great, and they accepted. Sometime later, Sarah told Abraham to make some changes. At first, Abraham didn't want to listen to her. But then Jehovah said that he really should listen to her. So he did. And it worked out better for the whole family. What do we learn from this? Well, don't let anyone make you feel like you need to be in a hurry to start having children. After all, you never know what Jehovah may ask of you if you are available. Also, husbands, if your wife makes a suggestion about the family, don't be quick to dismiss her idea. Be willing to prayerfully discuss it together to see if it is something that will benefit the family. After all, she may have already talked it over with Jehovah, and he may like the idea. There are other examples in the Bible as well. For example, take the prophet Jeremiah. Oh wait, Jeremiah never had a wife. Jehovah told him, you must not take a wife for yourself. Jeremiah, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, he's okay with that. Moving on then. There's also the example of Isaac. Now, Isaac was the son of Abraham. Abraham, of course, wanted his son Isaac to choose a good woman to be his wife. So he asked one of his servants, in green here, to go to the homeland and select Isaac a possible wife from there. Then he noticed the woman, Rebecca. Now, Rebecca offered to water all his camels, which impressed the servant. And being a hard-working woman that was well spoken of by others, he knew that she would be the one for his master's son Isaac. Thus, this was the first known marriage of a man and a woman that met through a dating service. The lesson we learn is a potential marriage mate should be someone that is well spoken of by those we trust, and they should not be afraid of camels. Another example of dating is that of Samson. When Samson met Delilah, everyone thought they were made for each other. He had long, flowing hair, and she liked to run her fingers through his long, flowing hair. Also, he was big and strong, and, well, she liked big and strong men. But he had a riddle that he had kept secret, and, well, she just had to know the answer. So, she sweet-talked him. She run her fingers through his hair. She even rubbed his feet to get him nice and relaxed. And then she said, "Oh, come on, honey. Just tell me the answer to the riddle. I won't tell anybody." Well, Samson fell for it hook, line, and sinker. The next thing you know, old Samson gets his eyes poked out and is bald as a bowling ball. So what is the lesson we learned? When the person that we want to date sounds too good to be true, maybe we need to get a second opinion. I mean, just in case we miss something. And another thing, don't tell all your secrets before getting engaged. If you do, you could end up blind and bald as a cucumber. And of course, when it comes to marriage, we have to mention the example of King Solomon. Now, Solomon treated his wives like he would a CD collection. He had to have everyone that he liked. And he was constantly looking for the next Mrs. Solomon. He figured the more wives he had in his collection, the easier it would be to impress his friends. But that didn't turn out to be true. He found that he no longer had any free time to himself. He had to keep adding closets for his wife's clothes and shoes. It just made him a miserable man. And this made him into someone who stopped serving Jehovah. The lesson we learn here: no man should try to love more than one woman. It's like trying to wear more than one pair of shoes. It's uncomfortable, it's expensive, and you end up looking like an idiot. And then, of course, there are the examples from the future. Yes, the future. Let's look into the future now and find an example in marriage. Yes, here's an example now. Why, it's Nathaniel and Jessica. In the future, they've been married now for 50 years. And look at them. They're so happy. Why is that? Why are they so happy? Well, it's because all throughout their marriage, they remained faithful to each other. They studied God's Word and obeyed His commands. They also helped others to do the same. Why, if we could only talk to them, what would they say about their marriage? They might tell us how they used their life together to serve Jehovah. They might tell us about the theocratic adventures that they have shared together over the years. Also, they would tell you about the really cool skit that was performed at their wedding shower in 2014. And they would remind us that having Jehovah in a marriage is not only a wise thing, but it is the most important thing. Thank you all for listening, and congratulations, Jessica and Nathaniel. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed